Today we're going to talk about the short story Morella by Edgar Allan Poe. Poe is regarded as the greatest American romantic writer of the age, and today he is most famous for his poetry and his short stories as well. His amazing short stories, which are full of horror, terror, and macabre. And one such story is Morella. Morella was first published in 1835 in a magazine called Southern Literary Messenger, along with a 16-line poem, which Poe later decided to publish separately. The poem is called A Catholic Hymn, which Morella actually sings on her deathbed. The story was published also in 1839 in a magazine called Burton's Gentleman's Magazine, which Poe himself was the co-editor of, and where he also published some of his other short stories, such as The Fall of the House of Usher, for example. So at the beginning of the story, we have a husband who is the unnamed narrator of the story, and he tells us about his marriage with his wife Morella, which is in fact a rather strange marriage. They have a really odd relationship, and he tells us that he doesn't really love her. There is no passion between them. He is only attracted to her because of her erudition. She is very intelligent, she likes to read a lot, especially works of Fichte and Schelling. And in fact, Poe himself was very interested in their works, in their theories about identity, what happens to identity after death, and some other theories they focused on. So then we suddenly find out that Morella is very sick, and then she dies. But before she dies, she gives birth to a baby girl, and so now the narrator has a daughter, and he watches her grow up and develop at a very fast pace. He notices that she looks like her mother a lot. She resembles Morella very closely in physical appearance, in behavior, and she is also very smart, just as her mother was. So we can see how that starts. He starts to obsess over that, and it torments him that she resembles her mother so much. And I say she because the girl doesn't have a name for the first 10 years of her life. And then her father, the narrator, decides then that she should be baptized. And at the moment when the priest asks him how should the girl be named, he says Morella. And then his daughter falls to the ground and dies. But before she dies, she says, "I'm here." So then we see how the narrator carries his daughter's body to their family tomb, where her mother also is, and he notices that Morella's body is actually gone. It is missing from the tomb, and that's how the story ends. So here we also have an image of a dying or dead woman, which is a recurring topic in Poe's works, especially in his poetry. And also love, loss, death, identity, marriage, those are all important themes of this story, but maybe the most important theme is theological morality. And with theological morality, Poe represents to us the belief in the immortal human soul. And at the beginning of the story, Poe focuses on single universal identity. So before the opening paragraph, we can see the quotation, we can read the quotation from Plato's Symposium, and Poe translated it as itself, alone by itself, eternally one and single. We are then introduced by Morella to the German philosophers I've mentioned, Fichte and Schelling, and they also talk about the idea of identity, universal identity. They introduce us, they associate it with pantheism. And according to pantheism, God and the universe are one and the same. We also have Morella she introduces the narrator to Pythagoras and his belief in the transmigration of soul into another body, or metempsychosis, which is actually what this story is all about. So, according to metempsychosis, a soul and personality can survive and exist outside of a human body and then return to a new body. It is indicated here that Morella's soul is still living after she dies. We have a Gothic motif of doppelganger, and it looks like Morella is reborn as her daughter. Morella is a very interesting short story in the Gothic horror genre, and it is considered by many to be one of Poe's greatest works. In fact, Poe himself considered it to be one of his best short stories.